Sheryl Swoopes has never been one to shy away from controversy, but her latest move on Gilbert Arenas' Gil's Arena show has kicked up a storm for an entirely different reason. This time, it wasn't her words, but her wardrobe that sparked the fury of Caitlin Clark's fans. Wearing a shirt with Paige Bueckers, the #1 overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, Swoopes ignited a firestorm on social media, especially from those who see this as another dig at Clark. What was meant to be a simple show of support for Bueckers quickly turned into a full-blown backlash that has once again pitted these two basketball icons' legacies and their supporters against one another. The tension is palpable, and it's only getting more intense. Swoopes' decision to wear that shirt wasn't just a fashion choice. It was a calculated move that has reignited an old feud with Clark's die-hard fans. Every comment, every word from Swoopes seems to be weighed against her past critiques of Clark, and they're not taking this latest jab lightly. As Clark continues to rise, Swoopes remains one of the few to question the hype surrounding her game. But in the world of women's basketball, where narratives are constantly being written, who's to say which perspective will ultimately define this new generation of stars? WNBA Hall of Famer Sheryl Swoopes has never been one to shy away from controversy, but her most recent appearance on Gilbert Arenas' Gil's Arena show has stirred up a whole new level of backlash. Not for anything she said, but for what she was wearing. On the show, Swoopes appeared rocking a shirt featuring Paige Bueckers, the UConn superstar, and the #1 overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. While some might have interpreted the shirt as a show of support for Bueckers, one of the newest faces in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark's legion of fans weren't so quick to give Swoopes the benefit of the doubt. Clark's followers, who have been highly protective of their favorite player as she continues to dominate the spotlight, took issue with Swoopes' fashion choice. To them, it was more than just a nod to Bueckers. It felt like yet another subtle jab at the Indiana Fever rookie. The backlash from Clark's fans was immediate, with social media lighting up with fierce criticism of the Hall of Famer. They didn't hold back, with some questioning Swoopes' integrity and motives. "What a sorry human being, it takes the same if not less energy and effort to be just nice and less hateful," one fan wrote, clearly frustrated by the perceived negativity. Another chimed in, "Sheryl is petty AF, but who cares? She always was. No one takes her seriously." The commentary was harsh, a reflection of how sensitive the Clark camp has become in the face of Swoopes' repeated skepticism. This is far from the first time Sheryl Swoopes has found herself in the crosshairs of Clark's fanbase. As Clark's star has ascended, shattering scoring records at Iowa and becoming one of the most hyped rookies in WNBA history, Swoopes has been one of the few prominent figures who hasn't bought into the hype. She's been outspoken, particularly when it comes to critiquing Clark's defense and questioning how her college success would translate to the pros. While many appreciated Swoopes' honest, no-nonsense take, Clark's supporters have often interpreted her comments as unfair, and at times, downright personal. The tension between Swoopes and Clark's fans has only escalated since the WNBA draft. As Clark's stock rose, so did the scrutiny over Swoopes' comments, with many seeing her words as a challenge to Clark's legacy before it even had a chance to fully unfold. And now, with Swoopes publicly supporting Paige Bueckers, a player who has had a long-standing rivalry with Clark dating back to their high school days, the air of competition between the two has only thickened. It didn't take long for fans to connect the dots, interpreting the shirt as a deliberate choice to further stoke the flames of that rivalry. What fans of Clark don't always seem to realize is that Swoopes' critiques come from a place of deep experience and knowledge of the game. She's a legend, one of the most accomplished players in WNBA history, and her analysis comes from years of playing at the highest level. However, for Clark's fanbase, Swoopes' critiques have always felt personal. They viewed her opinions as dismissive, especially when they feel like they come without full appreciation of Clark's extraordinary achievements. It's easy to see why the Caitlin Clark camp has a visceral reaction to anything Sheryl Swoopes does, especially when it feels like another stone is being thrown in an already long-running narrative of rivalry. Swoopes' latest wardrobe choice only added fuel to an already burning fire. For Clark's fans, the shirt was seen not just as an endorsement of Bueckers, but as an attempt to undermine their star's rise. This sense of competition isn't something new. It's been simmering beneath the surface for years. Clark and Bueckers have always been compared to one another, whether it was in their high school days or now as they both prepare to make an impact in the WNBA. The public's fascination with their rivalry has made Swoopes' choice to wear Bueckers' shirt all the more provocative, especially considering her history of undermining Clark's potential. The feud between Swoopes and Clark's fan base has reached a boiling point. It's no longer just about basketball analysis. It's about perceptions, biases, and old grudges that refuse to stay buried. Fans on both sides have made up their minds about the players involved, and now, even a simple shirt worn by a Hall of Famer can set off a firestorm of reactions. What began as a critique of Clark's defense has now evolved into a deeper, more complex issue that ties together personal rivalries, professional respect, and a need for validation in the ever-evolving world of women's basketball. As much as the fan base wants to frame it as a personal attack, Swoopes' behavior is just the latest in a long line of moments where she's ruffled feathers. She's never been one to shy away from controversy, whether it's her critique of Clark or her support for Buchers. Swoopes always seems to find herself at the center of a debate. And for her part, it seems like she's not backing down. While the rest of the world may be caught up in who's the better player or who deserves more attention, Sheryl Swoopes is just doing what she does best, speaking her mind, unapologetically. Now, with all eyes on her, Swoopes continues to stir the pot, and it's clear that she's not done yet. Whether it's her comments or her shirt choices, the tension she's created with Clark's fan base isn't going anywhere anytime soon. If anything, it's only getting stronger. And as the WNBA season progresses, expect this rivalry to play out on multiple fronts, both on and off the court. Fans will keep watching, but the real question is, who will come out on top when the dust settles? As the months roll on, the tension between Sheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark's supporters shows no sign of easing. Every move Swoopes makes seems to add another layer to the rivalry. When Clark's name is mentioned, it's almost impossible not to think of the dynamic between her and Swoopes, two basketball legends from very different eras, but with a shared drive to challenge the status quo. As much as Clark's fans are quick to defend their idol, Swoopes remains steadfast in her role as a voice of reason, calling out what she perceives as unchecked hype. In the world of sports, the line between praise and critique is often thin, and Swoopes has never been one to hesitate when speaking her truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might make others feel. The deeper issue here, though, lies in the larger debate about how women's sports are perceived and treated. Swoopes' critiques aren't just about one player or one rivalry. They're a reflection of the way female athletes are so often scrutinized and pitted against each other. It's clear that the basketball world loves a rivalry, and the media thrives on it. But for Swoopes, her comments aren't about fueling drama. They're about ensuring that all players, especially ones like Clark, are held to the same high standards. The challenge, however, is in how the public interprets those standards. Clark's supporters view every word from Swoopes as an attack, while others see it as constructive criticism meant to help elevate the game. And while it's easy to get lost in the noise of fan reactions, the reality is that both Swoopes and Clark are incredibly important figures in the WNBA's history. Swoopes, a trailblazer who helped shape the league into what it is today, has earned the right to speak out, even if her words don't always resonate with the current generation of fans. Her legacy stands strong, and her critiques come from a place of experience. On the other hand, Clark represents the future of the WNBA. She's rewriting the narrative, pushing boundaries, and captivating a whole new generation of fans who are deeply invested in her success. So, it's understandable why any criticism aimed at her feels like a threat to the vision they have of her as the next big thing. But let's not forget that these kinds of debates are what fuel the passion of sports fans. Rivalries like the one between Clark and Swoopes, whether real or perceived, are what make the game so compelling. The drama adds a layer of excitement that keeps everyone on edge, questioning who's right, who's wrong, and who will emerge victorious in the long run. Whether it's on the court or in the realm of public opinion, the stakes are high. And with every new twist in this ongoing saga, the lines between admiration, rivalry, and resentment continue to blur, keeping fans on the edge of their seats.